Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. We are so happy that you have joined us. I'm really excited. So, I haven't done my podcast in a while. So, I miss interviewing people. And I found this woman who is absolutely incredible. So, Jordan's not just a dietitian, not just a functional medicine practitioner, but she is the most amazing human being that I think I've ever met in my life. And she really loves, we got into this whole conversation about women's hormone health. And she's got some really interesting things to say. So I want to introduce you to Jordan.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to chat about all things hormones and all things women's health. So excited to get into it.
I'm so excited about it. So I know that she really has a deep mission. She really wants to help women to really gain confidence in their journey to wellness and really empower them to be able to reconnect with themselves. And in order to do that, she opened her own business called Thrive Well. What a great name, right? So, can you tell us a little bit about what that's all about and what the mission is behind? I mean, I may have just said what your mission is, but
Yeah.
how are you, looking to really put that mission in play through Thrive Well?
Absolutely. Yeah. ThriveWell is really about helping women, especially those who are feeling really unwell and unheard in their health journey. So we are a functional medicine practice, yes, specializing in women's health, specifically in that hormone space. And really, it's all about understanding what's happening in the body and empowering women to take control of their health with a more personalized plan. So functional medicine really seeks the answer to the question, why are we sick? Instead of, just treating with, say, a medication, for example. And it's really my mission to help women sync their body and their mind, gain confidence in their health, and really live the life that they deserve, that they want. But, in a nutshell, I say, we're here to help you thrive.
That's awesome. Now I know that you came to this mission through a journey of your own. And would you care to share that personal story?
Yeah, absolutely. My journey into functional medicine really began with my own struggles around hormone health and fertility in particular. So, like many women, I was feeling a little dismissed by traditional doctors and, kept raising concerns about my hormone health that was off. I was told that everything was fine and that maybe the answer was go back on birth control or some of these more invasive testing. That was their answer. So I just knew deep down that for myself that it wasn't the answer for me. And that's when I really turned to functional medicine and it was life-changing. It helped me get to the root cause of my hormonal imbalances and ultimately change the course of my health and in turn my life. So in that experience, it really fueled my passion to help other women who are going through, a similar experience to give them the answers and support that they may need to feel confident in their health. By providing that informed education to women, they're really able to advocate for themselves and take control of their health ultimately.
Yeah, that's so important because, oftentimes you go to a doctor and you get treated like, well, silly girl, of course, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, what? Like, how would I know those things? Like, you are the professional. I mean, just like I wouldn't expect someone coming to me for the first time, never having had to file a tax return on their own and be able to do it. They'd have questions and maybe some really basic cash questions. So I know that oftentimes people get a little concerned about or intimidated to ask those questions that are really, important to them, but maybe thinking that they're not either they haven't been heard in the past or,
Mhm.
it's a stupid question. I feel like there's never a sort of stupid question. So, what are some of the common things that women ask you when they come to see you?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I see a lot of women who are in, their 30s and their 40s and then, their 50s and their 60s into their 70s. So, many women are dealing with maybe it's let's go with some of those symptoms. Maybe it's fatigue. Maybe it's a little bit of weight gain that they, all of a sudden it's like they just put on 10 pounds and they're not sure what's going on, haven't changed anything. Maybe it's, brain fog or irregular cycles all of a sudden, sleep disruption. So you name it, the Queen's Gambit here. So all of those things may be related to hormonal issues, whether it's perimenopause kind of transitioning into that menopausal state, or even conditions like infertility or polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOS, and then even thyroid issues. So often, we've been told that, oh, it's just a normal part of aging, or, oh, it's just the nature of being a woman, and that we should just accept that. But in fact, the truth is that there's so much more that we can do to really balance our hormones and get them feeling like themselves again. It's really about looking at the whole picture. So whether we're looking at nutrition and lifestyle, stress, or even getting to more of those deeper root causes like inflammation or gut health even.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. It just like ruffles my feather when they say, well, you know, at your age, you should expect blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. I'm like, no, I should not expect.
Yeah, no, we should feel good.
And
Exactly.
tell me if I have to live with this symptom, how do you do that? But to me, it's like really just not dealing with the symptoms, but really getting to that root cause, as you said.
Yes,
Um, so,
absolutely.
so I know you take a holistic approach, and I know that I and most women that I talk to really appreciate that holistic approach and not being either talked down to or just having the symptoms being addressed. And, unfortunately, the medical professions, many of them just want to throw prescription medication at you, and they're
Mhm.
not getting to those root causes. So I know when you talk about a holistic approach, when we had talked before, tell us how do you see that? Like to you, what is a holistic approach? Because I know for many practitioners, it's very different. And a lot of that one depends on how you came to that. And you shared a little bit
Sure.
about that. But the other is like sometimes I almost feel like traditional practices are throwing in that holistic approach, even though it's not a holistic approach, if you really look deeper into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'll take you through kind of like what a typical, consultation would look into. So it's a great question. And everybody's a little different in their practices, but when someone comes to Thrive Well, we really take the time to dig into their full health history. So I'm looking at, from childhood to now, I really want to know everything. I want to know what makes you you. So maybe we're looking at your specific symptoms. Again, we're looking at that past medical history and conditions that you're dealing with now. We're also really going to dig deeper into nutrition and lifestyle, like, even sleep and stress load. I also use a lot of diagnostic testing, so we have some good data to guide our approach. And, we may focus on also what's important to them. So it's like, yes, we can look at all of the root cause and your symptoms, but what's important to you? So it's about getting to the root cause of those symptoms, and it's also about understanding what they want out of their life and how they want to feel. So we basically create a plan that is sustainable, really realistic to them, that actually fits into their life while getting to the root cause and meeting their goals and their values as well.
That's an excellent point because oftentimes it takes time to digest what you've just been told about, like what the symptoms are and what the root causes are, and
Mhm.
might need to have some, time to really digest all of that. And rather than just do a pushback, finding that common place, that place where you feel safe enough that you can get started, I think is an excellent way to step by step take people in. I love that approach because I know oftentimes when you find out all the things that are wrong with you, it is so overwhelming that at some
Absolutely.
point your brain kind of like shuts down, go like, okay, I've heard enough. And then you leave feeling totally not just overwhelmed, but there's so much to fix. I can't
Yeah,
even imagine how to get started. So I love that you not
exactly.
only help with that, but also talk about like what are you willing to do to start your process. So I really love that. Um, so I know that um sometimes there's just that little piece that can it's like flipping a switch from overwhelmed to being empowered. And I know that some of your process really helps women to empower their journey. You want to touch on that just a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And empowerment is huge. I think
Mhm.
we all need that, Vice, right? And that's a big part of what we do is education, like you mentioned, that, tipping the scale between empowered and overwhelmed, right? Education is so key. And I spend a lot of time really explaining what's happening in their body in the way that's easy for them to understand. So they feel more informed than, say, overwhelmed. I want you to really get the full picture so you can then make changes and understand the why behind why we're doing this. So I think it's also about some of those small sustainable changes that we're looking at where we
Those are
don't
so
have to.
important,
So
right?
so important.
All
Absolutely.
those
Like we
little
don't.
wins.
Yeah, we don't have to overhaul everything all at once. It's really about focusing on like what's manageable and then also celebrating some of those wins along the way because every single day we're making wins and we should celebrate those. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but it's not about perfection here. It's really about the progress. And that's what I want to emphasize. I believe really into the power of community where many women feel isolated in their health journeys or those struggles. So it's always, important to remind them that they're not alone in this health journey. We're all going through something similar and, there is a community of us out there.
I really appreciate that. There are so many times when whether it's in a weight loss journey or just a wellness journey, that you are measuring yourself against others or you're measuring yourself against goals instead of celebrating those wins along the way and kind of like looking back to where did I start and where am I now, and appreciating the fact that you're
Yeah.
healthier, you're maybe you're not losing weight, but it's shifting and you like the way where the way that it's
Or you
shifting, and
feel better.
you
Yeah, you're
feel better in
sleeping
your
better.
clothes
Yeah,
and you're sleeping better and you're not biting someone's head off when they talk to you. Those are all
absolutely.
super important things to keep in mind. So, as
Yeah.
we wrap up, is there any advice that you would like to give to a woman who's sitting there listening, going like, I feel like I'm out of control? Like
Yeah.
how do I take that first step to regain control of my health?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, my biggest advice is really trust yourself. Trust your body. If you feel like something is off, it probably is. And you really deserve to find those answers. So don't be afraid to ask the questions, to advocate for yourself, and seek out care that truly aligns with your goals and your values as well. It's never too late to take control of your health and really feel your best. And I just want to say, healing is possible at any stage.
I love that. I love you always make people feel so hopeful. So I know that you're probably thinking, okay, so how do I get a hold of Jordan and Thrive? We're going to drop it into the comments and into the notes, but the down and dirty is you can go to www.thrivewell.health and follow her on social media. And we're going to make sure that all her social media handles are also in the comments so that you'll be able to follow right along. Jordan, it has been such a pleasure. You always make me feel hopeful about anything that's happening, whether it's in my body or just in the world in general. So thanks so
Oh,
much for
yeah,
spending the
thank you so
time.
much. Thanks for having me. It's been such a pleasure to be here. And yeah, it's been great. Looking forward to connecting with everyone.
Fantastic. Bye for now.